Can you hear this music? There we go. I think it's back. How's everybody doing? All right, Pork Sweats, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Yes. Okay, we're working. What decides which game Zach plays? Is it just whatever one he chooses? I'd love to see him play more Bloodborne. Yeah, dude. I mean, here's what I'm going to put out there for everybody. I'm down to play Bloodborne. Obviously, my heart always wants to play Dark Souls 3. That's okay, Solar. Don't worry about it. I also am down to play some Binding of Isaac. So I'm going to fucking do a poll, I believe. That's how we figure these things out. Everything's perfect. Everything is perfect. You know what I mean? Dude, everything's perfect. Nothing is fucked. Nothing is fucked. You've never seen Binding of Isaac? It's actually pretty fucking awesome. Let me bring this music down so we can, you know, do the fucking YouTube shit later. By the way, that was Kate LeBon from her album Mug Museum, which is a banger of a record, and I love it. What happened to the previous streams? On Twitch, they're gone, but all of our streams are on our WKUK VOD channel on YouTube. So if you missed a stream, except for one Self-Suck Saturday 2 Saturdays ago, you'll never see that one again. But other than that, they're all on YouTube. There's a link here. There's a link on our official WKUK YouTube channel that links to the stream channel. So it's all there, dude. Yeah, what up, Parataran? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, they're all there, Bubba. That was a good one, Sam Night. Do you mean Saturday? Talking about Saturday? Yeah, last Saturday was super fun. I remember a lot of times after like a Newsboys or a Self-Suck Saturday, I'll like go into the living room where my wife is like watching TV and I'll be like, I don't know if it was good. But after this Self-Suck Saturday, I went and I was like, we had a good stream. It was good. It was fun. Is Sam okay after this Saturday? Yeah, he's texting me right now about some other bullshit. So yeah, he's fine. He's texting me because someone oh my god, dude. Some oh my god, some guy from our community is like hitting Sam up in a very weird way. I'm not going to get into it. How's Sam's poop? Great question. I tell you what, if we get our hype train to 5, we'll call Sam and we'll ask him all about his bowel movement, and I'm sure he'll have some colorful things to say. All right, so let's do a poll. Let's see what people want to play today. New poll. What game? I'm glad you guys are here. I've been looking forward to this. Okay, so. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. This is a work call that I kind of have to take. Fuck, guys. I don't know what to do about this. And it's probably going to be more than 10 minutes of a call. I'm sorry, homies. I'm going to have to take it. And I will figure something out. Hang on. Hello?
Hey, Zach. It's JD.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good.
I'm so sorry about that. I apologize. That sucks. But it was one of those things that like I had to fucking. Wait a minute. Who's doing this poll? What the fuck? Eat shit, chair boys. You motherfuckers. Who did this? Who did this? That's funny as shit. I bet that was Twerkin. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Is Nate on here? That's a Nate thing. Collective Souls is last. Only 2 people voted for Collective Souls, you fucks. Hype Train level 5. Let's do it. Should I call? What do we want to do for the Hype Train, you motherfuckers? Chair boys. I guess chair boys. No, chair boys is without me. So that's you and chair. You're the boys with chair. Eat shit. Goldbug, thanks for the sub, dude. Rongina, the chair's hype. Oh, so this is chair's hype train? Well, now you guys fucked yourselves because chair can't do anything. Green Nasty Noodles, thanks, buddy. Chair can't fucking help you with your hype train. So let's see how you enjoy it. No, chair does everything. Oh, chair does it all. Great, cool. I'm not calling any. Chair can't call people. Chair can't read you lines from Fight Barn like I can. Chair can't do that. Chair is the hype. This is the most hurtful stream I've ever had, and I'm including Self-Suck Saturday from 2 weeks ago. By the way, who won the poll for my game? What game did we agree to watch? Klaus Nomi shirt. I know, I wore this yesterday too. Call Sam and give Chair the phone. You fucker. Fuck you, pork sweats. Isaac? You guys want to do? I kind of want to do Isaac too. Let's just do some Isaac. Fuck it. The cool thing about Isaac is a game can last 20 minutes or 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So I could do like 5 Isaacs, and then if it gets boring, we can jump. Oh, it looks like Chair's not going to pull the hype train over the line. Oh, that's a bummer. Sorry, Chair. I guess you don't have the goods after all, you fucking piece of shit. Are you with me now? Do. But I do appreciate you guys doing the hype train. That's fucking awesome. Truthfully. Zach is great. Thank you, Midnight Blue. Thank you. Thank you. What's the opposite of banning someone? So I installed Isaac the other day. How does Zach know about Elden Ring? Does Zach? Yes, Zach does. Zach does. Why don't we just start a new file, right? I played it through the other day, like, blah, blah, blah. This is all new. I tell you what, I'm going to delete. I kind of like being like a... Whoop. What happened? I kind of like being doing a complete with you guys. Let's just start a new one. Here we go. You promised Isaac. I love Bloodborne, but you should give people what they want. Okay, Isaac. I'm doing Isaac, guys. You wish I was the first person you ever met? That's a fucking weird thing to say. All right, baby. Did the hype train make it? I don't think it did. If it did, I'll call somebody. You know what sucks? So here's something that sucks about doing this on a PS4. Is usually when I play... Okay, so here's how Isaac works for people that have never seen this game. It's every time you play, it's like, it's algorithmically generated. What's the word I'm trying to say? Zach, vote on the poll. Wait, what should Chair do for the hype train? Be a sexy chair. Zuck, touch Zach. Well, be a sexy chair, it's doing it. That one. You guys in your fucking polls. Every level is completely randomly made, right? The rooms are kind of the same. It'll repeat rooms and stuff, but... you don't know what items you're going to get. You don't know what the map is going to be. So you're kind of playing it sort of for the first time every time you're playing it. But you get to know, there's like thousands of different power-ups. Not thousands, but probably hundreds. And so you get these unique different combinations every time you play the game. And you have to kind of learn what the different powers do. And there's a whole strategy involved with this game. It's pretty fascinating stuff. All right, so I'll have to kind of be like talking you through it as we go. I can already tell by the way that these rooms are packed together so tight that this is probably going to be one of those like bonus maps that has 2 bosses and 2 item rooms. Every level has one of these gold rooms here on the right that gives you a power up like this. And has a boss. And when you beat the boss, you get a power-up. However, randomly, sometimes you'll get a level that'll have 2 power-up rooms and 2 bosses. I guess this is not one of those. I thought it was. Oop. Okay, what happened? Can't see the game. I'm a fucking idiot. Thank you. Who told me? Somebody nice told me. Fuck all of this shit. I'm trying, guys. I'm having a stressful, crazy day. No, you know what's crazy? I don't think I'm spoiling too much, but I have a crazy breakthrough happen to me last week for my movie that I wrote, and it looks like it's going to happen. So I'm dealing with a ton of phone calls that are all fun and exciting of people that are like helping me get this movie going, and it's like, you know, so I'm kind of in one of those like whirlwind weeks where it's like it's happening and everyone's excited and all that stuff. So, you know. I'm kind of being an idiot for playing Twitch. I just enjoy this so much that I don't want to stop doing the Twitch stuff. But there will probably come a time in the next month where I'll have to like pare down the Twitch streams because I have to work, which is cool. It's all good. It's positive. Oh, so okay. So this thing I have now, the item I guess I got in there is that if I get hit, I bleed. So see how I'm like dripping blood everywhere? If a bad guy touches the blood, they get hurt. So it's not the best power up item, but it's good. Twitch still says just chatting. Okay, thank you. I couldn't do it without you guys. Edit stream info. Finding Afterbirth. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. No, not the Batman movie. It's a horror movie. Gus said, Gus messaged me on Twitter. I appreciate that. I know you guys during the raid were like, fucking get back to Zach. And I saw, and he was appropriately shamed. And I responded, and it was like one of those things where it's like, hey, dude, sorry it took so long. I hope we make it work. And I was like, yeah, me too. Ooh, $100. Not bad. Oh, I unlocked Kane. Is there any good lore to this game? Zach, thoughts on soy milk? What is the soy milk? I don't remember what it does. Yeah, so I hope the Gus thing works out. I'm such a fan of his. I think he's so fucking amazing. Soy milk is terrible. In the game? Tiny tears, high rate of fire. Yeah, I don't like it. I think soy milk is like one of those things I don't get. There are some items that you just don't want to get in this game. You know. Oh, wait a minute. I'll take that little heart. I'll take you, little heart. Gus seems like a good dude when you rate him. Yeah, he does. He seems like a good dude. I agree. Ow. All right, so now look, I'm bleeding. See, the problem with this one is you only activate this ability when you get hit. So that's why it's kind of a shitty boost. It's because, like, you have to be injured for it to even do anything. And it's not even that advantageous, really. So far, I don't like my build. I don't like this run-through. Sometimes I'll just quit on a run-through if I'm just getting garbage items. And usually what I'll do is when I play this on my computer is I'll just keep fucking holding R down and restarting the game until I have a item room spawn next to me and it has an item that I like. So that's kind of bullshit, but I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to waste my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a busy man. How's everyone doing? I definitely want to be interacting more with chat. He shot the poop. I shot the poop. What do I have? A chariot? So a chariot gives me like, okay, this is pretty good. Shielded tears. That means I can like block people's bullets with my tears, which is pretty decent. See how I blocked that? So this isn't a bad one. This is a good one. I've played this game so much. This is another game that I'll play when I like listen to a book on tape. So I don't know how many fucking hours I put into this game. I kind of don't want to know. Do you guys have that? Like, I hate when fucking video games tell you how many fucking hours. You hate boomers? Well, you're a fucking piece of shit, bro. Suck on it. I hate when video games tell you how many hours of your life you've wasted on the game. Like, who looks at that and is like, yes, 200 hours. That's awesome. How do you not look at that and be like, oh my God, 200 hours? That's 200 hours I could have been painting. It's 200 hours I could have been like thinking deep thoughts. Instead, it's 200 hours I fucking put into this fucking video game. Although, that's why, if I'm reading, I don't feel so bad about it. That's why it's like, okay, I read a book. Fuck you, little ball. You know, I'm just gonna fucking try this. Nope, come here. Got him. All right, milk is good. I think if I remember correctly, this is just an extra heart. Pretty tight. Let's move on. Zach, Discord debates today? Yes, let's Discord debate. What do we want to do? Rabbit, be nice to Zach. What is Rabbit saying? Rabbit, I thought we were fucking homies. It's always easy to find Rabbit because you just look for someone writing in all caps. But I don't see it. Debate horror movies. Love to. I would love to debate horror movies. Zach, do you play any sports or have active hobbies? No, I'm a fucking look at my arms, dude. Look at how fucking out of shape I am. No, I'm not a sportsman. So if I touch one of these chests, I have to go through 3 waves of bad guys. I don't think there's going to be enough in those chests to make it worth it, so I'm skipping it. Do you have any outdoor hobbies? No. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm playing like shit right now. That's okay. And if you get hit, it makes it so you're probably not going to get a Satan or Devil room at the end of the thing, which is not good. It's okay. Like if you complete a level without taking any damage, it'll open like an angel room or a demon room, I think. Oh my god, I'm really sucking, dude. I haven't played this game in a while. I played a little bit over the weekend, but like not enough to de-rustify myself. Yeah, what do we want to debate? I also feel like I can't really read chat so much. Never go hiking in the redwoods. I actually do want to talk Herzog with me. I love Herzog. So if you, I mean, sure. All right, let me open the Discord here, and I'll just pull somebody in. Is Discord open? Yes. All right. I don't want to get hit by a poop. Ben! Can you hear me, Ben?
I can hear you.
What's up, dude? Yeah, I want to make sure you're coming through the OBS. Hang on. Say something?
No worries.
Yeah, you are. Okay, cool. What's up, dude?
Not too much. I actually am currently working, but I wanted to pop in.
What's your job? What do you work at?
I work in Rhode Island for oh God, I don't want to get this wrong. A multidisciplinary culture and branding firm.
What does multidisciplinary mean?
We do video, we do like digital content, we do design work, also just everything across the board for like, you know, big companies. Okay.
What did you major in college?
I just my most recent degree was I got my master's in film at Full Sail.
Oh my God, in Orlando.
Yeah.
All right. I actually went and I considered going to Full Sail. That's funny.
It was cool. I mean, ups and downs, but I got to be director on the thesis, so yay. And we also had like the best thesis crew of any of, like, all the groups ahead of us just hated each other and fought all the time, and all the groups after us, I guess they use us as an example to be like them.
Oh.
Like, they were all friends. We don't know why. Be like them.
Okay. All right. So wait, what are we talking about right now, Ben? What's going on? You had something?
Really quickly.
Yeah.
I got to run back to work. I just wanted to say, last week you said something very personal on one of your collective souls.
Uh-oh.
And
was it bad?
It stuck with me. No. It was a really good thing. About like your issues with alcoholism in the past and all that stuff. And I just wanted to say something about it stuck with me like all weekend. And I just wanted to say thank you. Because I think I needed to hear that.
Hey, buddy, my pleasure, man. And you don't know how happy that makes me. I mean, yeah. So hey, if you're having issues, you know, you're not the only one. And fucking good on you for like thinking about it. You know, honestly, I feel like most people, they try and just kind of like force their brain not to address these things. So you're already on the right track, dude. Good for you.
It's almost like almost a reset in the way that I was thinking about it.
Cool.
So I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, man. I'm glad to hear it. Thanks for telling me.
But keep up the good work. I hope you guys get your movie made real fast.
I do too. I feel positive about it. I feel like the odds are you know, tilting in our favor. So I'm optimistic as fuck.
I mean, like, I don't know where you guys are gonna go with a movie about a candy company, but I'm for it. Like, you guys.
Wait,
are genius,
what?
So. Mars.
About a candy company? Oh wow, dude, give me a break with your fucking puns. All right, buddy. Thanks for hanging out, dude. I'll talk to you later. Later, Ben. I was like, what? What the fuck, Ralph? Ralph. By the way, if you want to hang out, if you want to debate me, I really like it when people want to debate me and disagree with me. Come to our Discord. There's a link. There's a link to the Discord on our Twitch page. Go into our Discord. Go into the waiting room, and that's where I pull people in. So if you wanna give me some shit, you're invited. By the way, this brimstone item that I just got is the fucking jam. Like I just got way more lethal, so I'm feeling pretty positive right now. Ralph, what's up, dude?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about Werner Herzog and why I actually really don't like him.
Oh, okay, let's go. Why not?
Yeah, but first, let me say that like a game that you would really like, and I just started playing it, and it's amazing. It's a roguelike, like this game, is called Risk of Rain 2.
Risk of Rain?
Risk of Rain 2. You got to get the second one. It's 3D.
Okay, tell me about it. What's the deal?
Ooh. Okay. So did you ever play Resident Evil 4?
I sure did.
Yeah.
I love the Resident Evil games. Love them.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, those were the tits. But Risk of Rain is like a 3D shooter where you're put on a planet and you have to survive against all these waves of aliens that try to kill you as you pick up items.
Is it procedural?
No, it's random.
That's what I mean. Procedurally generated means like the computer builds it different every time.
Yes, it is, Zach. It is.
Tis procedural. Aye.
Indeed.
What?
Indeed.
Okay, good deal. Hey, mute. I'm hearing an echo of myself. I don't know what that's about.
Because we're talking at the same time.
Okay, all right. Okay. I'll allow it. Okay, Risk of Rain 2. Cool, I'll check it out. Is it on PS4?
It is. That's what I've been playing on for the last few days.
Oh, tight.
It's cheap, dude. It's cheap.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I kind of am like needing a new game, so I'm excited for anything, and I feel like people now do have a good idea of what kind of shit I'm into. So cool, dude.
You'll absolutely fucking flip over this game. I'm telling.
Okay, cool. I will check it out. You got it. All right. So what's up with Herzog? What's your angle here, man?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say that like I didn't always dislike Herzog. I especially like that early film he did,
Aguirre, I believe it's pronounced The Wrath of God. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Love that.
Although that's like hardcore Herzog. It's weird that you would not like Herzog, but that's one of the ones you like. I mean, that's interesting. I'm intrigued.
So okay.
Do you like Fitzcarraldo?
Oh, I didn't see that one yet.
See it.
Sorry.
See it.
I will. So let's start with Grizzly Man.
Okay, one of my faves.
First of all, I think that Timothy Treadwell is an interesting character.
Agreed.
And I think that as a being, he was very, like it's an interesting idea to make a movie about. I feel that Herzog betrays his absolute disdain for him at the end, and I felt like that wasn't really fair.
He betrays as in he exposes his disdain for Treadwell. Okay, I mean, look, Herzog never ever purports to be an objective observer. All of Herzog's documentaries are essays, and he is the subject as much as the person on the camera. So, okay, keep going.
Exploitative at the end of the day, because you have all these people who are like, oh, Timothy was a nice guy, and that was just a mean bear, and he made a mistake. And then you have him listening to his last moments, and then at the end he's just like, well, you know what? This guy's an idiot. It's like
he didn't use the word idiot.
No, he didn't. But I feel like that turns it into an act of exploitation that I'm not quite okay with.
Well, all right, devil's advocate. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just gonna bring up a couple of counterpoints. One, you bring up him listening to Treadwell's death, which I would argue is one of the most tasteful and least exploitative moments in the documentary. Who's the guy that made Kurt and Courtney? Why am I blanking on his name? Martin, whatever the fuck. A lot of other doc filmmakers would have found that footage, and they would have been thrilled to play it in their show. you know. And I thought Herzog was very tasteful in that he was like, I'm not gonna, you know, this isn't something for entertainment. I'm not gonna like play it in my doc, but I can't ignore it. So I thought filming himself listening to it is just such a classic Herzog thing. It's an idea that no one else would even consider, but he does it and it works so well. And again, it ties into the fact that Herzog is not claiming to be an objective observer. His experience of Treadwell, just like his experience of Klaus Kinski in My Best Fiend, it is about his relation to the subject. And he's always very honest and naked about that. So I think that him listening to the audio is such a inline, consistent, you know, now my vocabulary is escaping me, but I think you know what I mean. Like, that is such a perfect Herzog tactic to use, and I think it really works. That's just my opinion. And I think that that's the fundamental crux that like you and I won't agree on, is like if you allow that Grizzly Man is not a documentary about Treadwell, but a documentary about Herzog and Treadwell, then I think you can begin to forgive him some of those things.
I thought that it was no. I mean, I see your point, and I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. What I'm saying, I as an individual, if I were making the documentary,
okay,
I wouldn't have made those choices because I think that it ends up casting Herzog in kind of a mean light. If you have this personal relationship with this man, even if you didn't know him, then you should have known that like there's an exploitative factor to the way that it ultimately pans out. And maybe he's making a statement on himself in that. I just felt it borders on poor taste, but not as much as the next thing.
Here's how I push back on that. Timothy Treadwell made all these tapes himself. Timothy Treadwell was an actor. He was an attention hound dude. He wanted attention. He wanted these tapes to be ultimately listened to. It wasn't like these were his like somebody else took this footage of him. You know what I mean? Herzog is one could argue completing the documentary that Treadwell began.
Maybe. Okay, hold on. I'm looking at the chat. It says Discord chat is quiet.
Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Let me boost you. I appreciate that. Try again. Say something.
Hey, it's me.
Okay, that's definitely better. Thank you, chat.
Okay.
Thank you, chat.
Okay, so going again, I think that that's a great point, actually.
And by the way, everyone in chat who has not watched the documentary Grizzly Man by Werner Herzog, do yourself a favor. I'd say watch it immediately. It is tremendous. But keep going.
This idea that he's documenting somebody's addiction in some ways to celebrity, to attention and all that isn't necessarily a bad. I don't know. I felt looking at the movie that it was just because he liked being around the Bears because they were cool, which is a terrible idea.
I think it's both, dude. You know, I think that like you can't deny that the Bears in a weird way is a symptom of his rejection. You know, I think he's a very incomplete person. You know, I think he wrapped his entire sense of self-worth, as so many people do in Los Angeles, around his career. And when his career just wasn't going to pan out, you know, like he had to completely redefine himself. And so, hang on a second. Do I take this little guy or not? I don't think I need him, so I'm going to say no. So I think one really does go hand in hand with the other. But I do, by the way, buddy, I'm loving your argument, and I'm so glad. This is exactly the kind of conversation I want to be having. So even though I don't agree with you, I am grateful to you.
No problem.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's move on to whatchamacallit, the Cave of Forgotten Dreams.
Haven't seen it, can't comment on it.
Okay. I mean, I can spoil it for you, but there's an egregious thing that he does, which is I mean, can I say
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole movie is about these people a billion years ago who used to make cave drawings, and this one cave where there's a bunch of impressive things, right? It's not bad. I think that the camera work is a little lackluster on it, considering the subject matter that they had. But, you know, who am I? The issue is at the end, he does this thing where he shows these albino crocodiles. And he makes up this story about how these are crocodiles that were infected with radioactive waste. And then he makes this point that human beings are like this, like the human being to the human being of the past is the same as the crocodile to the human being, or something really stupid like that. That is a complete and total lie. Those are just albino crocodiles, and it was exposed near the end. And I was like talking to my friend about this, and he's like, well, no, it's like crazy Uncle Herzog, you know, taking reality into his own hands. And it's like, no, you presented that as real.
I can't really comment on that because I just haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm inclined to agree with your friend that it doesn't even matter if he's right or wrong, because it's about inspiring the argument. You know what I mean? Like Herzog is just, he'll do anything to provoke, and I think that it's like kind of valid. I don't know.
It's just philosophically I disagree, but you know, if you haven't seen it, then I guess we can't really.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. That one's on me. I should have too, because that's one of the ones people talk about a lot. I really should have watched it, but you know, life is short. All right. Wait, what else? Wait. Let me ask you this. Have you seen My Best Fiend?
I have not. No, I haven't.
Have you seen Nosferatu?
I watched Nosferatu. I thought it was cool.
Oh, I adored it. I thought it was fantastic.
I mean, a little cheesy.
Cheesy? Oh, wow. Yeah, I had a completely different experience. I thought it was just like so somber and elegant and just like fucking. I loved it, dude.
I mean, I'm the person who thinks that when you sort of. It's an example of, like, one thing I loved about Aggie, or however the hell.
Yeah, however you pronounce it. I don't know.
Yeah, who cares?
It doesn't matter.
Even matter. That's what Werner would.
Yeah.
Just for my own argument. I loved how melodramatic it was, because it was just, like, so over the top. And then I felt like he kind of did a little bit the same thing with Nosferatu, and I thought it wasn't. I don't dislike it.
Have you seen Bad Lieutenant Port of Call?
No, but I saw the original Bad Lieutenant.
Sure, that was good. Abel Ferrara, by the way, what a maniac. So the director of the original Bad Lieutenant is this guy, Abel Ferrara, who's like one of those kind of like grimy 70s New York directors. This is just a little anecdote for chat. But he was a notorious drug addict and alcoholic. And he taught at our college. He taught a class at SVA. Yeah, Port of Call was awesome, Goldbug. I agree with you. Yo, psilocybin, what's up? Anyway, Trevor had a class. He took Abel Ferrara's class in film school, and he said, you know, they're in New York City. They're on like 23rd Street. That's where the SVA film building is. And Abel's giving this lecture, and at a certain point, he's just like 20 minutes into class. And this is, by the way, at like 10 a.m. He's like, you know what? Sorry, class, take a break. 15 minutes, everybody. And he like rushes out of the room. And everyone's just like, what the fuck? So Trevor, like, you know, it's easy in 15 minutes. You can leave the building and go to a store, buy a can of soda, you know, go smoke a cigarette, whatever you want to do. So Trevor goes, he leaves the classroom, he goes to the bodega across the street, and he walks into the back of the bodega, and there in the aisle is Abel Ferrara. He had pulled a 40 of malt liquor out of the fucking thing and was chugging it in the aisle. Like right there. He hadn't even paid for it. He's just like chugging this 40 of malt liquor. And then Trevor just watched him. He goes, he pays for the 40, and then he goes back and just teaches the rest of the class. It's like, Jesus, dude, get your shit in order, buddy. You need help. Anyway, and that's the guy who directed Bad Lieutenant, which is a great movie, the original.
I like how like Harvey Keitel wasn't afraid to cry in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, somebody's saying, did he put chocolate syrup in it at least? What is that a reference to? Chocolate syrup in a 40. Is that a thing? Have you heard of that, Ralph?
No, I'm not a heavy drinker.
Have you ever heard? Here's something else we used to do. Sorry, a little tangent. We used to drink what we'd call brass monkeys in college, where we would Dead Parent sketch. I guess it's a Whitest Kid sketch. We would drink a 40 of malt liquor down to the top of the label, and then we would fill that much that we just drank with orange juice. And then you close the thing, and you like kind of like do this a couple times, and then you drink it, and it tastes like Orangina. And we used to fucking drink that all the time, which is fucking disgusting. But what are you gonna do? Anyway, sorry, dude. That's neither here nor there.
No, no. I'm getting the ground.
Ooh, hang
level
on.
Look.
This Tech X thing I
That
just
is,
got. This is game over for everybody. I'm gonna win this now. Watch. I just fucking destroy. Keep going, dude.
Yeah, I got nothing left to say unless you want to talk about like Bloodborne or Killing Joke, I guess.
Oh, right, because you wrote the Killing Joke essay, which I've not read, and I need to read
Yeah.
Killing Joke and then reread your essay. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna have time to do that anytime soon. But I love that you're the kind of guy that can write a fucking essay about the Killing Joke and get it published. Like, that's badass. You're a man after my own heart.
Well, I interviewed Alan Moore once, actually.
What was he like?
Nicest man you will ever talk to.
No way. I imagine him to be just a maniac.
Oh, he's the nicest, most eloquent, like kindest man that you could possibly imagine.
How fucking great is that to
reason
hear,
why-
dude? That's
I talked to him
awesome.
for like 2.5 hours. He's like the sweetest. Like, as long as you don't talk about like the movies and the way that he got screwed over by DC. Like, if you just talk about like, okay, so you're an actor, you're a writer of sketches. If I were to talk to you about like, oh, why did you find this funny, and then go into it a little bit, that would be nice. But if I were to just sort of go on and on about one sketch and why it's funny, like what people might do to Sam for the Grapist sketch, that'd be
Right.
annoying.
Yeah.
If you talk to Alan Moore like he's a writer, and you go like, well, you know, what are you trying to say about this, and what are you trying to say about that, and you made these choices, yada yada yada. He's a completely normal, nice, affable character. If you go, hey man, you know, how do you feel about DC stealing all your ideas? He's gonna be
He's gonna be a little
it's
triggered.
just- yeah, it sucks. And he's not gonna like you for it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
All right.
that's just a little trade secret there.
I gotcha. I understand that. All right, dude. Cool, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you, bud.
Dude,
All right.
pleasure's all mine.
Oh, I think you broke up there. Say that one more time.
Dude, the pleasure's all
Oh,
mine.
well, all right. Aren't we a couple of friendlies? All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Goldbug, my man. Oh, shit. Hang on. Goldbug, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, dude.
No, you are. You're good.
Hang on. Mute your Twitch. I
So-
can hear myself from the past.
Duh.
Oh shit! It just got even more
It's a
real.
time machine,
Squeezy
man.
is good. I'm fucking getting. I'm getting lethal right now, dude. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I wanted to comment real quick on the Werner Herzog thing
Okay,
I
fire
guess.
away.
About the alligators and the Cave of Forgotten Dreams.
Yeah.
I think that you could give him a pass because he's really just making up a story and using it as an allegory to draw a connection between them and the other people in the story. And so it's not like the focus of the documentary is to convince people that these weird alligators are a real thing that people need to be worried about. He was just trying to kind of use a story to just, illustrate a point, and that was it. So I don't think it's all that egregious. I know you haven't watched the film, so there's kind of a
Yeah, I wish I could weigh in. I really do, but I can't. But my gut
Also-
tells me that I would agree with you.
yeah. Anyway, also Bromosa.
Bromosa.
Is when you mix beer and orange juice.
Oh
So,
god, that's so funny. It's such a.
Just-
It's that name is so disgusting. It's kind of the perfect.
I know.
It's kind of perfect. Wait a minute. Do I
It's
want
pretty
this?
bad, right?
I don't remember what this thing does. Sorry, buddy. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. The scissors. I think I
Oh, it's all
do.
good, dude.
Let's take it. Yes. No. This is good. This is good.
So the other thing I wanted to ask is for you to say some more controversial stuff for us to disagree with.
Well, you know what?
It'll,
I
it'll
actually.
help inspire the debates. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
well-
I'm sitting here. I'm waiting for you to say something like Doctor Sleep isn't good,
Oh
so that
my
I can
god.
jump in here.
How is that? All right, whatever. Okay, let's leave Dr. Sleep alone.
Give Mike Flanagan a chance. Have you seen Oculus?
No.
Or,
You know what? Here's the funny thing
Fucking
about
Hill
Oculus.
House,
I know
or
Oculus has
Reacha,
gotten a
or-
lot of love. I haven't watched
pretty good,
Oculus
man.
because the dude's haircut. I look at the trailer, I look at this guy's haircut, and I'm like, I'm not watching that fucking movie. I should watch it. I should
The
get
dude
over myself.
is like the smallest part of that film. And,
Is he
and
really?
Also the least impressive.
And it's so Oculus is good?
Carrot Gilliam is. Yeah, it's great. What's the guy's name? Hold on, real quick here.
You know what Mike Flanagan made that
always
I
forget
did like?
this actor's name, but he's amazing. What?
His Ouija 2, I believe it was.
Yeah, and Ouija is good too.
I don't think I've
I'm
seen.
telling you, he's a good director, man.
Okay.
He's got good stuff.
All right.
So, you know, and I saw other good things before I saw Doctor Sleep. So I went into Doctor Sleep thinking, okay, here's a Mike Flanagan movie. It's probably going to be pretty good because the things that I've seen from him are good, and I enjoyed it.
All right. I mean, look, you're
just
not.
throwing
I'm
that out
obviously
there.
in the minority here, guys. You know.
Yes, you know,
I hear
mean,
ya.
I see the problem with trying to bridge because Doctor Sleep is such a Stephen King story, and it did feel a little bit awkward when he tried to bridge that and Kubrick because Kubrick took the Stephen King thing, and by changing the ending, he made it a completely different thing. Like it doesn't feel like Stephen King at all.
Right.
The Shining, it really is its own completely own thing, and so because Doctor Sleep felt so much like a Stephen King film, I would argue that Doctor Sleep is the best Stephen King film adaptation since The Shining. And you almost can't even count The Shining because it's more Kubrick than it is King almost, because of how much changed about it.
Yeah.
So I would argue that if you don't count The Shining because it's almost more of a Kubrick film than it is a King adaptation, then Doctor Sleep is actually the best Stephen King film adaptation that we have right now. That's what I'm putting down.
Well, I'm gonna here's like I'm gonna say something I'm probably I don't know if I should or not, but I have in the last week begun to enter into a professional thing with someone who produced Doctor Sleep, so I have to like not talk shit on it anymore. So just for my own, no one's told. By the way, no one's ever told me not to, but I've decided it's in my best interest to refrain from shitting all over that movie. So
I
I'm
think
gonna
you're
stop.
right. It's a good idea to support the.
Yeah,
people
let's not be that guy.
with.
So okay, fair enough. I take your point, and I also recognize that like people really love it, and I don't have to agree with everything. So all right, I'm down
But
to.
if you could convince yourself to like it, it might make it easier to lie.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but you know what?
Anyways, the actor Rory Cochrane.
I know Rory.
Was the guy. I
Rory
don't
used
know
to
if you
come
know
to
who
Whitest Kid shows in New
Rory-
York City. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
he's cool.
Fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. So Rory, for people
He
who
was
don't know, he was
really
in.
incredible in Oculus. He was so good in that.
Okay.
Like he did a bang up job. He plays the dad, and they do like this, like switching back and forth timelines between when they're kids and when they're adults. And I don't. It does a really good job. And Rory Cochrane really nails it. I think he's like the Toni Collette of that movie.
He's a very
for, like,
talented
Hereditary.
dude.
His performance, he grounds the film and really makes it feel like it's a real thing. I think, along with Karen Gillan. Karen Gillan.
Ooh, what does this lotus flower do? Sorry. Yeah, I love Rory. For people who don't know, he was in Dazed and Confused. He's the guy with the long hair that's kind of like, whoa, man, like that guy. He's fucking great. He's a fucking great guy.
Yeah, dude. Everything he's in is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he does an awesome job in everything that he's in.
Yeah, he's super talented, dude. All right, man. Cool, dude.
All right. I think that's all the hot takeage I got for you today, man. It's good
All right,
talking to you.
I'll try and rack my brains for something controversial so I can piss people off and argue with people.
Yeah, exactly. Piss me off, man. Then I'll hop back in and I can.
Okay, cool. I'll do my best.
All right,
Believe me, I'll work on it. Oh shit, hang on, I'm about to get.
Thanks,
fucking- Later, dude. Oh, I got problems. Oh shit. What's it? I don't know what's fucking controversial. You guys fucking come at me, man. I'll be thinking. Crazy saxophonists. Hang on, I gotta make this Discord bigger. What's up with chat? Was he in A Scanner Darkly? I think he was in A Scanner Darkly. Can't believe we're watching President-elect Zach Cregger play Binding of Isaac. Yeah, fuck off. I get what point you're making. Hanged Man, no. Judgment, no. Chariot, Tower, Chariot. I'll do Chariot. Yo, crazy saxophonist. What's up, dude?
How you doing, Zach?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It looks like you're absolutely slaying in Isaac.
Well, I got lucky with this tech. You know what I mean? This is one of the most OP things you can get. And by the way, if you get a magnet or not the magnet, the heat seeker thing, magnetic tears with this, it's fucking over. So if I get that, it's like ridiculous.
I'll keep watching and let's hope you get it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So what's up, dude?
So I don't have too many hot takes for you. I've got more video game recommendations, actually.
Okay,
if you're
fire
open
away.
to those. All right, so it looks like you're kind of interested in the roguelites with Binding of Isaac. You know, you're asking if things are procedurally generated, and you seem kind of excited for that.
What's that term? Roguelites? What does that mean?
So Rogue is an old game, old enough that it actually used ASCII graphics, where you didn't have really portrayals of enemies the way that we would expect to see them now. It used actual characters like X or slash, or it basically gave you a binary readout of a page to designate where things were, and you could move along it. It's a very early computer game that worked very well. Is this
like in that movie Big, where you're like it's like D&D and you're like typing in your commands? No,
you would be actually entering commands
I just got hit.
On a keyboard, not a controller, but kind of similar to Isaac. But it is actually, from, I believe, the 80s.
Okay.
It is this old game, and it's only really popular because it did so well because of the procedural generation it used, which allowed for people to play it over and over and over again. So roguelikes today still harken back to the idea of emphasizing gameplay skills over story progression, if that makes sense.
I think so.
By playing Isaac enough hours, you get to the point where you recognize items and you're skilled enough to know the enemies and to evade them while killing them. And so, you can get screwed, absolutely, by getting crappy items or get totally, gifted with some amazing sets. But each run-through is different, and the only thing that's really the same is your skill, and your experience is what grows.
Okay, yes, gotcha.
So roguelites, the phrase that I used, are games that pull heavily from Rogue, but don't actually stick to what some purists consider essential aspects of the genre.
Okay.
So Binding of Isaac, I would consider a roguelite because you do have some progression. There are characters and items that are unlocked the more that you play through. If you do certain things, like if you get $1, for example, you unlock Cain, right? So that's something new that you can select from going through.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, so
wait, were you waiting for me to confirm that or something? There was a weird pause, like I just missed something up. I'm sorry.
I'm just watching your stream, and it's exciting to watch you go through these rooms. But I'm also, a couple of seconds behind you. Sure. I think our pace is just a little bit offset. So going back to game recommendations, Risk of Rain is a really well-known roguelike. I would encourage you to take a look at both of them, actually, the first and the second. The first is a 2D as opposed to the 3D of the second. And they did an amazing job, really, of translating what worked well from the first one to the second one, despite the change from the second to third dimension. I think some people prefer the first, which is why I would encourage you to look at both. But there are also some other games that you might really enjoy that have kind of similar elements, but also some that aren't even roguelites or roguelikes at all.
Okay.
I think Hotline Miami is one that you should really check out. It's a top-down rampage game.
Hotline Miami is a game that you know what? Hang on. I want people to look at this with me. I've actually been kind of excited about that game.
Yeah, so it's like $10 on PS4, I think. And it's absolutely wild.
Hang on, everybody. Come look at this with me, friends. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like the GTA 1 or 2, sort of, right?
Yes, it's a very similar art style.
Yeah. But you're saying it's not about the story.
Hotline Miami does have some story. It's totally disjointed. It's totally fun. It's weird as all hell. And the guy drives a DeLorean, so you gotta love that.
Okay. Have you played the is it called Hong Kong Massacre? Like that kind of like John Woo kind of a game? That's
I haven't.
A top-down shooter. It was pretty fun. I got into it. See, people are saying play Hatred. Yeah, I know about Hatred. I was actually curious. Do you know about Hatred?
I don't. I can't say.
It's one of these top-down shooters, but it's so fucked up. Do you remember there was this game Postal that I think was kind of similar, where it's just like it's about like you're just killing people. You're like a fucking school shooter. It's really fucked up. But I was like, it got made, and I was like, how does this exist? And
then you Bowl got to go and make some movies about it.
Oh, so. Dude, yeah. I've seen that movie Rampage. That movie's fucking crazy.
Didn't he also actually made like a Postal movie though?
Oh, really? I mean, God, how redundant is that guy? Like, didn't he make Rampage 2 also, which I have not seen?
I gotta be honest. I don't know how U-Bowl has managed to continue funding his movies.
Is he like
I'm
independently
really
loaded?
Is
Is that part of it?
It can't be. Like, I just feel like that can't be it. I feel like he has to know somebody or something or know some trick.
Yeah, he has.
I don't know
he has
what
some
is up.
crazy access, man. He is a mysterious guy. He's a fascinating guy. Somebody should make a documentary about him. And for people who don't know,
I'm sure somebody will make a documentary about U-Bowl, but only after U-Bowl is dead, so that he can't come after them.
Exactly. Are you sure that you're pronouncing his name right?
I'm fairly certain I'm pronouncing it correct.
It's not Uwe or Ue or something. I don't know. I'm literally asking. I have no idea.
Pretty sure it's U-Bowl.
Okay. All right. And he like fights people, and he's like a boxer, so he challenges critics who diss his movies, which is like almost all critics, to like fights, and like he will fight them in the ring. That's pretty cool.
So somebody took him up on it. And,
no, multiple people have.
Yeah, no, and then he said, oh, well, it's just going to be this many rounds, and we're going to wear rings, and U-Bowl just went off on this guy, and it's like, well, this is why nobody does this, dude.
We're going to wear rings, he said? Oh, shit. I don't have the audio.
No, we're going to wear boxing gloves, and U-Bowl just apparently really went apeshit on this guy.
Well, yeah.
Just, like, really tried to, like, knock the shit out of him.
Of course he did.
I thought this was, like, a fun publicity, you get a shot at me now that I took a shot at you, but like, no, you're just here for blood.
Yeah, he's a pretty angry guy. Hang on a second, sorry. Yeah, he's fast. Ooh, this is good, I believe. Oh yeah. Oh God, I am so OP right now. It's fucking crazy. Sorry, buddy. I'm my brain power that's going into the game has made me lose the thread of our conversation. Where were we?
That's quite all right. We were just going through some game recommendations. I can see, though, that you are absolutely slaying it, and I did get to see finally which item you were talking about there.
Well, I saw Rongina said tech is garbage. So Rongina, what are you talking about, dude? Look at the damage I'm doing. Were you being sarcastic? Rongina, will you come into the chat too? I wanna know why you think that one of the best items in this game is trash. If you don't mind. Yeah, so what else, man? What's another one?
So one that you really might get a kick out of, especially because you like Binding of Isaac, is Enter the Gungeon. I'm not sure if you've heard of that or seen that before, played that.
Fuck. Enter the Gungeon?
Enter the Gungeon, yes.
Okay.
Not dungeon, Gungeon.
Okay,
G-U-N,
what is a
G-E-O-N.
Gungeon? What is that?
The Gungeon is just the place where everything happens in that game.
Is that a word that people know that I don't know?
No, it is absolutely just from this game, and it's excellent. Everything in it is about guns, has to do with guns. Most of the items are guns or gun related.
I understand. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's quite excellent.
Is it on PS4?
It is. That's where I first played it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. So wait, what was the what of rain that everyone is saying? Something of rain.
Risk of Rain is
Risk,
is
like R-I-S-K.
Yeah.
Risk of Rain.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want, I can just write all of these down in the chat as soon as you finish killing Mom here.
I just killed her. Oh, this is it, dude. Now it's fucking over. Hang on. Look at that. See, now this shit is magnetized. And it's just like, it just does so much damage. It's fucking over. I'm going to murder everybody. Yeah. Will you just whisper me? Will you just whisper us with this list? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, dude.
Yeah, and until you say something really controversial, it's going to be kind of hard for us to come in with hot takes.
I know, it's on me. The ball is in my court. I totally understand it. I'm trying to think. It's hard. Like, I really like the RAM drive of my brain is like taxed.
I totally understand. I can see where you're putting your processing power right
yeah,
now.
Exactly.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Just,
but I would rather
right
be debating you guys than playing this game, quite frankly. But so after this level, maybe I'll take a beat.
If that's how you're feeling, then I have one more recommendation actually. That is another roguelite. It's actually a deck builder game. The idea is that you have
deck builder.
Yes, it's a card game where as you proceed through the game, you get different cards and they have different effects and you play them.
Yeah, what's that famous one that's like the cards? Middleditch is really into it. What the fuck is it called? The most popular video game like
Oh
card.
God, Magic?
No, it's a video game.
Hearthstone?
Hearthstone, yes. When I was shooting that Pete Holmes X-Men thing, Middleditch was like in the makeup chair, just playing Hearthstone. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, this is my obsession. This is all I do now. I was like, okay. I tried to get into it. I couldn't.
I had a couple of coworkers who were like that. Just, you could always find the one guy in shipping. If he wasn't actively working, he was in his chair playing Hearthstone.
Really? Yeah. I couldn't get into it, man.
It's not my obsession. I tried it once on his recommendation. Wasn't my jam, but I can understand how people could be attracted to it.
Yeah. All right. All right, dude. Thanks for the
one
rec,
I
man.
would recommend.
What?
Sorry, just the one that I would recommend is called Slay the Spire. And what's nice about it is, since it's a card-based game, you can always pause. You can always just take a second to respond to chat, to, continue a dialogue. And, when you're not actively discussing things, you can just run through Slay the Spire and keep playing cards.
Cool. All right, Slay the Spire. The card games don't appeal to me very much, but that's probably just because I just don't know enough about them. There's so many games
What I really like about Slay the Spire is that it has so many different cards that are all really simple. And it has so many different items that say exactly what they do.
Uh-huh.
In Isaac, when you see an item for the first time, you have no idea what it does, and it might absolutely fuck up the entire build that you've been going for.
Oh, but that's part of the fun, is learning,
It's definitely part of the fun. What it's not great for is trying to respect your time on a run that's taken you 30 minutes. You're like, hey, wait, why am I now not doing any damage?
Right. Yeah, fair.
So Slay the Spire giving you such full information allows you to make more educated decisions going into things, and the difficulties come about from enemies that have different effects, or cards that do different things than what you've seen before, or random events that might nerf you in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's just my spiel on Slay the Spire. I'll definitely whisper you a list of all the games that we talked about.
Yeah, let me know, and I will 100%. I promise you, I will go through them and make a pick for sure. I need new games.
Yeah, and if you say something really awful or controversial, I'm more than happy to come back and tell you why you're wrong.
Okay, good. All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
All right, Zach.
Later. All right, so I'm gonna use this dice shard here. Ooh, that's good. No, wait, is that no? Wait, yeah, that's good. 2-shot, and then what's this little fly? Best Bud, Swarm Protector. I think that's good too. Sometimes I fuck with pills, sometimes I don't. This late in the game, I don't fuck with pills. There's not really an upside. The moon. Cool, I'll use that. Breaking 22nd Amendment. Abolished to prepare for a chair presidency. Okay, far out. Term limits no longer apply. I mean, that's a big deal, dude. You can just argue with me about a random topic. Okay. All right, let's pull in somebody I've never talked to before. How about that? Professor Marth live. Professor?
Yes, hi.
What's up, dude?
That's good.
Not much. You got a hot take? What's up with you, man?
How do you feel about Christopher Nolan films?
Don't like them. Don't like most of them. Some of them I like, and I have not seen. I actually don't like him so much. I've kind of haven't watched very many of his later ones. So I haven't seen Dunkirk, which I hear is great. That's on me. I didn't watch Interstellar. So I don't know if I can really do it. I just so disliked Batman and Inception that I was like, I'm done with this guy. Yeah, but
okay.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Those are the only ones you've seen?
Well, I really liked The Prestige, and I really liked Memento, and I even liked Following.
I was about to say, I think The Prestige is his best movie, and I
agree with you.
Agrees with me on this. It's like the only one that's really rewatchable.
I think Memento is rewatchable. Even if you know the spoiler, I still think it's such an interestingly constructed movie that
it is.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
I only like the Batman movies. I only like Batman Begins. I didn't really like Dark Knight Rises. I don't think anyone liked. But here's my thing about Nolan.
No one liked Dark Knight Rises? I'm glad to hear that. I didn't know that was the case, though. I feel like people did.
Yeah, Yeah, people like thought it was so shitty, like especially coming after The Dark Knight.
Yeah. And Tom Hardy, like, okay, I love Tom Hardy, right? I think he's phenomenal.
Have you seen Bronson?
Oh, dude, that's where I fell in love with him. Like, straight up
Yeah, me
gay
too.
in love with Tom Hardy when I saw Bronson.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'll fucking whatever this guy. It's so good. I also love Nicholas Winding Refn's early stuff. In fact, I'm gonna tell everybody the Pusher trilogy that Nicholas Winding Refn, I'm sure I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. There are 3 movies he made in Denmark about drug deals gone wrong and blah blah blah. It's a trilogy. They are so great. They're so fucking wrong. I'm saying wrong because I'm reading a comment I disagree with. My brain just short circuited. But have you seen those movies? Those
I have not.
Watch them, dude. They're phenomenal.
Okay.
Anyway, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about Nolan. Yeah. Where were we? Sorry, buddy. I'm all over the place today.
Well, you know what? I think his brother Jonah is a better writer than him because he co-wrote like a lot of like his best movies, and he also did Person of Interest, which is fantastic. He also did Westworld, which I haven't seen. You haven't seen Interstellar, but I think a lot of people in chat did. Interstellar is great for like the first 2/3 of the movie, and it takes a weird left turn at the end. I would recommend watching it. So I won't spoil anything, but it's like it has some really good sci-fi bits in it. They did a lot of research. Jonah Nolan did, and then I feel like Christopher Nolan came and said, "Oh, let's make this about love or some shit." I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
So I think my hot take is Jonathan Nolan is a better writer than Christopher.
Well, so here's another thing. I did not enjoy Westworld. I watched like the first few episodes of the first season, and I was just like trash.
Okay.
But then people say it gets so good.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, people say like you got to stick with it. It really picks up, and it becomes this amazing show. Which it's like okay, I can believe that.
That's how I feel about Person of Interest, which like nobody watched, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And now people in chat are saying Westworld's good for first season. Well, Jesus, if it's only good for the first season,
Yeah, I'm hearing
glad I
that
bailed.
too.
Jesus.
I mean, just watch first season, then bounce.
Yeah. All right.
No commitment.
All right.
How do you? What's your I got another thing. What's your favorite track from California?
Who could have one, dude? I mean, it's such an incredible album. I mean,
It's really good. How do you feel about the other 2 albums?
okay, so I think they're good. I think the first album is so clearly like it has not aged well. That kind of like clown, punk, funk, ska, metal is like maybe that was like hadn't been done to death in 1996 or whenever the fuck or 90
like
whenever they made it,
89,
right?
I think.
When is it? 89?
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, so then it was probably like cool and weird. Obviously, that kind of trope has been done to death. So, like, you know, whatever. I think Disco Volante is like the first, in my opinion, that's kind of the first album they made that was like, okay, this is what they can be. You know, where it's just so.
They really went out there.
I think Disco Volante does itself a couple of disservices. It gets like too far out there at moments, you know, where it's them kind of sucking themselves off a little bit. And then I think California is just like a shooting star of genius, straight up genius.
Have you listened to the new stuff?
Of course I have. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. I like it. If I didn't know it was Mr. Bungle, I'd be like, this is cool. But dude, I expect more from them, and I'm a little bummed, if I can be honest with you. What do you think?
I think it's totally bungled to like just say fuck what everyone else wants. We're gonna do this. You know, we're gonna do all our old shit that we wrote in high school.
Okay.
Like, that's totally bungled. But I understand. A lot of people feel the same way. But hopefully, you know, they'll continue and do some other stuff after. Are you going to see their Halloween show?
Is it live on Halloween night?
I don't know what time it is, but it's going to be that day.
I mean, I kind of want to. So I never forgave myself for not seeing them in 1998 when they toured,
Yeah.
right? Never forgave myself. So then
like
they had this tour that they just did last year,
Yeah.
you know, and it was sold out instantly. I called a friend
Oh,
of
it was
mine.
so
I
hard
did
to
a
get tickets.
douchebag Hollywood thing. I know someone who works at a major record label, and I called and
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta get me tickets. They did, and they were expensive as fuck. And I bought like 4 tickets, so I spent like a G to get these tickets. And
Oh,
I was like,
geez.
I called some friends, and I was like, and by the way, this is like months in advance. So I called these friends. I got all my buddies that were gonna like, they're gonna reimburse me for theirs, so I was gonna get my money back. So I think the ticket was gonna be like $300, $250, something like that.
Holy cow.
Which is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, it's this Saturday night. It's this weekend in Los Angeles. Like, great. It was like 4 or 5 months in advance. I was like stoked. So Thursday, I think it was Friday night rolls around, and I'm at an AA meeting, and I'm talking to somebody about Mr. Bungle, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to see them tomorrow. I'm so fucking excited. And he goes, oh, cool. My friend saw him last night. I was like, where? In San Francisco? He goes, no, here in LA. I was like, no, dude, the show's tomorrow. He's like, no, he saw it last night. He sent me this photo. I'm like, what? I pull out my phone. In the 5 months that had passed, I forgot the fucking date.
Shit.
And the night before, I hadn't even done anything. I just completely spaced and missed the concert. I had to call my friends and be like, hey, Mr. Bungles, we missed it. So I had to eat all the tickets that I bought. All my friends were pissed at me because I gave them the wrong fucking info. And I missed Mr. Bungle 20 years later when I had fucking tickets. I mean, honestly, it was like, I was so upset with myself, dude.
I got lucky. Like months after they came out, I think they came out with more tickets for the LA show. I think I saw it on Thursday because they played for 3 nights at each venue, I think. And I got lucky. I spent like a little over 100 on them. We were like right up front. Neil Hamburger opened for them.
That's
It was
awesome.
super funny. And like he threw ice at everybody. One like landed right in my roommate's tits. It was so funny. But yeah, it was a good show. It was a really good
Neil
show.
Hamburger used to be in that band. His name's Greg. He's
Greg Perkington.
Yeah. So, he used to be in. Oh, did I already get this item? What's wrong with me? Oh, no, I didn't. He used to be in that band Faxed Head. Do you know that?
No, I don't.
With Trevor Dunn.
No.
So he and Trevor Dunn are like homies.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I saw that he used to open for him a couple times, like back in the 90s.
Yeah. So he knows about that kind of music, man. He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
also, I
Greg's
was
really
at a
funny.
dinner with him one time, and that guy was the most intimidating, seemed so not
Really?
friendly. Oh my God. I was like, what? Because I'm a fan. I wanted to like talk to him, but he sat in the corner with a scowl on his face for the whole thing. I was just like, all right.
I mean, yeah, that I believe that.
Yeah. And he wasn't in character. This is just him, It's just like, all right, this guy just seems bummed. I don't know, man.
I don't think I've ever seen him smile, so I don't.
Yeah, yeah. And did you like his movie? Did you like Entertainment?
I didn't watch that.
Oh, you should watch it.
I've seen him in Decker with Tim Heidecker. I thought that was really funny.
Dude, he's the best. He's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Hey, did you
But
see the
yeah,
Tim
I'll take a
Heidecker
look.
thing where he's in the courtroom? It's like the
Oh,
trial of Tim
thing.
Heidecker.
Yeah, that was. I didn't see it because that's like a whole that's like all this lore for him and Greg's show.
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of
10
lore for a
seasons
bunch
deep.
of different things. Yeah. It's the idea that like he was responsible for the fire festival sort of a thing, and yeah, Greg
saw a little bit
and
of
him had a falling out and all that. It's if you're into that world, you don't even really you can still
It's so crazy.
you can still get into it without knowing all that shit. But I thought it was super fucking funny. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, check it out. Like it just seems like they just went all in on this whole trial thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
People are like, wasn't that Ja Rule? The real thing obviously was Ja Rule, but this is like it's a spoof, guys. It's a spoof. All right, cool, dude.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Good
buddy.
talking
Thanks
to
for hanging out, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh shit, I'm getting killed. Hang on. All right, bye.
Hey.
Gotta get my fucking head in the game here. Get fucking wrecked. Yeah. What's a good hot take? I don't know. See, hot takes usually involve just shitting on people. I don't want to just be shitting on people. Rabbit. Rabbit, what's up, dude? Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Let me mute your. Okay. No, I'm just I'm just hanging out, man. Got some spare time for a few minutes. So I was like, hey, just jump in.
How are your
get,
orchids? How's your orchid doing? I haven't got my orchid yet.
They're doing good. I wanted to mention something to you about them, but I was like, I forgot, because it's like when you do get one, you have to like kind of like inspect it, because they usually come with like a clear, even if they're at like a HEB or whatever kind of store you get them at. They usually come with like a clear base on the bottom or a clear plastic container on the bottom, and so you could see the roots if the roots look healthy, and the only way that you could tell if they're healthy is if they're still green. If they're like brown or like black, don't get it. Move on to another one. Or if they look like they're made of like paper and squishy, then don't get it. Because you can always bring one back. You can always bring one back from being unhealthy, but you can't bring one back that's already dead. And it's weird because orchids can be dead and look fine for weeks, and then the next thing you know, it's over.
Oh my
it's
God, dude, this sounds really fucking complicated.
It's not that complicated. Like I said, one is a step, and then like having 15 like I do is kind of like a big headache if you don't do everything right. But like I said, it's not that bad. Like I said, they could stay healthy and be in the same container that they're in for years.
Okay.
So it doesn't take like a lot of effort. Once if you have to put it in a different pot, it's just like if it's in a pot that's the size that it is, it's just 1 inch bigger. The next pot, you know what I mean? So you don't have to put it in this massive pot or this. It doesn't have to be this tremendous thing where you need like 1,000 tools and stuff like that. It's just you could use scissors, like regular scissors, to cut it or do things like that. You don't need like specialty things.
All right, that's the kind of shit I'm gonna just have to fucking rely on you after I get the orchid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, buddy. Cool, man. I'm looking forward to it though. I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, we're gonna get an orchid and we're gonna try and keep this fucker alive. She's like, okay, cool. So. Yeah,
because that was like my jumping point was like orchids. Now I have like medicinal plants, like freaking yarrow, sage, and different things like that the Native Americans used for like stemming blood. If you get like a cut or like a deep wound, or if you have like a blood clot, you would use some of these herbs like lemon balm and different things like that. It's just a jumping point. Once I figured out how to do those things, it's like, okay, now I can, if you can't kill an orchid, then any plant you buy, you should be like an expert in.
Okay.
Like you still have to do research, but then if you can't kill an orchid, then house plants are going to be like, oh, that, I could do that.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I dig it. All right, buddy. Hey, have we talked about psychedelics? I want to know your. Why did I do that? I want to know your take on psychedelics. I feel like you would have an interesting opinion on that. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, honestly, since nobody really knows who I am specifically, it's easier for me to talk about it than not like, oh, that guy. But I think that they can be very helpful.
Right
in
on.
a lot of ways.
Yep. Have you read Michael Pollan's book? I talk about it on the stream a lot. But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've read some of his book, but the thing is like reading about someone's experiences, and if you've had like a really bad experience, it's kind of like you're like, oh, well, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to read.
I do because I've had very bad experiences with psychedelics, so I understand.
Dude, it was so mad. I was so mad because right before this whole thing popped off, with this virus thing or whatever, I was talking with a lot of First Nation people, that live in my area, and I was going to go to some traditional healing ceremonies and like prayer ceremonies with like peyote and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it hit, and they're like, look, we can't do any ceremonies, and they're emailing me and calling me, and I'm like, dude, come on, they're like, no, they're like, we don't want to take risks either, right. Like, because there's a lot of traditional healing ceremonies, you're in like this enclosed space with people, and you're like 3 or 4, like not even 3 or 4 feet away from them, and they're doing their prayers and they're chanting, and they're, some of it depends on which First Nation you deal with, but part of the First Nation, but they'll do like where they're like massaging your face and they're talking to you, and they're doing chants, and it's crazy because everybody's like a foot away from you, so it's
and sometimes you're like in a very small confined space, right? You're like in a like a tiny room, right? Am I right about that?
Either or that or a sweat lodge or the
I mean,
one
a
that I was going
sweat
to go
lodge
to.
is like, I can't think of a more dangerous environment to be in COVID than a sweat lodge. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like the one that I was gonna the guy that I was gonna do it with, you actually help him at the beginning of the day. You build like a literal teepee that's like 30 feet tall, and you go from the ground, you tie up all the wood and you build from the ground up, and then at the end of the day is when you do the ceremony. So you're a part of every little step of the way. So I was like, that's pretty cool, and so to me, it's you have to know the people there, and at the same time, like for me, doing stuff like that, there's like a purpose behind it.
I'm
doing it for a
100%
reason.
agree. The intention is more important than anything else.
Because if you do it for the wrong reasons, or if you're like, I just want to get fucked up, then you're gonna have a fucked up experience.
I agree with you. Have you heard about this like cyclical? I'm gonna get the word wrong, but the breathing. There's a psychedelic technique that's just about your breath. And you can literally trip just as hard as anything with this breathing technique. And there's this guy that does it in LA. I'm very interested to try it. Do you know about this?
Yeah, it's kind of like tantric breathing.
Yeah.
In a way.
Right.
And it can be helpful, because a lot of other religions and even martial arts use it. Like ninjutsu has used it in the past. Like the people who were basically, assassins, they believed if they focused and meditated enough, people couldn't see them. People couldn't hear them as well because of how in tune they were with their environment and their breathing and how they moved about the environment.
You don't believe that, do you?
The folklore is kind of like a touchy subject, not for me, but in general, because it's one of those, if you believe in that type of thing, it's kind of hard to get away from it, because then now you start, it's almost like it's a conspiracy in itself, because I've done a lot of research in apologetics as well, which is basically the study of all religions. And when you study religions, it kind of, you get into this real rabbit hole of ideas because a lot of them are coexisting with each other. Like basically the Romans, they copied Norse gods, Greek gods, and other gods from other religions and kind of put them all into one big hole.
Did they copy paganism as well, or was that? Am I wrong?
They copied pagan gods. So it's like I said, they wanted to create a society where everybody was welcome, but they also wanted to control the way that the gods were and who they were.
Right.
And so like I said, when you deal with folklore and gods and stuff like that, like to me, I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to talk about it, but it's kind of a touchy subject for people that kind of indulge their lives in these things. And when you have your own personal belief system, and then you intertwine, all your knowledge from all these other ones, it can get kind of mucky. It's like those people that know like 8 languages. Mm-hmm. 8 languages, and you're trying to, okay, wait, no, that word means this in that language, but it sounds kind of like this from that other language. So it can get kind of messy if you don't have your own personal beliefs. So that's why I don't like kind of getting into it if the person that I'm talking with is like, well, I don't believe in anything, so I don't like talking about God, so it's kind of like, okay, well, this is folklore, not so much a religion or a belief system, and they're like, well, it's the same thing, so people get kind of touchy. So that's why when I talk about it, I only like to talk about it when people are open to talking about it and not getting offended by it. Because I'm not going to say, well, I believe this specifically, so you have to. That's not the kind of person I am. Because if you want to believe something, that's up to you. But influencing how people believe is very touchy for me. You know what I mean? Because
what do you think about? And I'm gonna bring up a very loaded thing here. What do you think about QAnon?
I've heard a lot of different things, like left and right about it, like whether it's some kind of cult or group together. But then I think of them the same way that I think of like the Masons or the Illuminati. They're a group of people that are centralized about an idea, and then they're really like, how can we really understand what the real goal is? Because does anybody know anybody in QAnon? You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of hard for you to say like, okay, well, this is what they believe, because there's people out there that are marching for all kinds of things right now, but they don't even know what the basis of what they're marching for. They just think it's this generalized idea. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to say that when I haven't done any proper research on QAnon, because it's like, to me, like a lot of these things that are popping up right now is kind of like what happened in the 60s. There were so many things going on, so many belief systems intertwining with different religions, and then people just making stuff up, creating cults. And then after 10 years, nobody cared. You know what I mean? So it kind of faded out. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just waiting for a lot of this stuff to calm down, because like the election, all these different, fascist and militia groups coming out. It's kind of like, let's just wait till this election's over and see which ones still exist. And people are still, kind of out there, because then you could do proper research on those ones once everything kind of calms down. Because a lot of this stuff happens every 4 years in this country.
Well, I feel like it's kind of, we are in sort of an unprecedented time right now, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That it is very unsettling.
But I think you make a very good point about like wait and see, because you're right. Like QAnon, a central tenet is that Donald Trump is like, and I hope I don't have this wrong. Not that I give a shit about offending, whatever. I hope I at least want to be accurate in my critique. But my understanding is that part of QAnon is that they believe that Donald Trump is like the only one that can save us from this like pedophile ring, right? And if he's defeated, it's like, does that mean the prophecy is like, come and gone? It's not true. Is that going to be a wake up call to these people, or do they, or are they just going to think like, no, the forces of evil are still winning and the fight's not over? Which I predict is actually, that's more likely going to be the attitude.
I use this as an example. I was in this military training workshop, and basically there was this person that was like, he was just turned 18. He joined the military out of like, I don't know why he did it, because I didn't join until I was 25.
Holy shit, dude! You joined at 25?
Yeah, but we'll talk. That's a different subject. But I'll use this thing as the story that I'm about to tell you as a jumping point, like what you just said. But basically, he stood up, and because he rose his hand, and they were like, what is it? And then he was like, hey, all this stuff that you're teaching us, why is it so important if the world's going to end next year?
Oh, he was in one of those doomsday cults.
Yeah, and they were like, what did you just say? And he's like, well, the Mayans predicted the world was going to end next year. Why should I be learning all this stuff? Why is it important? And then they were like, sit down. Like, what the hell is this kid? Who is this?
Well, yeah, it's like, why are you even here then, dude? If that's what you believe, why aren't you like in fucking Maui, like relaxing,
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many different worldviews and people doing things that it's kind of like, what, let's just see what happens. And like, I want to know that it exists, so that I can be aware of people who may go crazy around me, but I'm not going to be overly concerned if somebody says like, hey, you're not, the Hale Bop's coming back, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you wearing Reeboks? You know what I mean? It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that. And it's kind of like the same thing that people who believe in, not in hoodoo, because there's voodoo and hoodoo, but then
what's the difference?
A lot of these, voodoo is basically a lot of, it's not witchcraft, but it's a lot of like putting, curses on people, stuff like that, using spirits to help you. And hoodoo is kind of like the yang to it. You use good energy to do good things, and you could still kind of use the bad side, but you're not using it in a negative way. You're using it kind of like, keep these bad people away from me, using that kind of same spiritual or spell kind of binding stuff, So it's kind of like voodoo and hoodoo are kind of like the left and right of the same thing.
Have you ever read The Serpent and the Rainbow?
Yeah.
Isn't that a good book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I think so.
Just wanted to throw that out there. It's such a cool book.
I think it is.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is voodoo and hoodoo. It's a lot of these principles are based on if you have to believe in these things in order for it to affect you, which is kind of like it's like a backwards way of thinking. It's like somebody's saying like, I'm putting a magic spell on you, and you're like, well, I don't believe it. And then they're like, oh, well, if you don't believe in it, You know what I mean? It's a lot of it is predicated on you falling into their trap and believing that it exists, and then whatever happens after that, you're like, well, the guy said I was going to have bad luck, so I tripped off the curb, you know, so that's bad luck, right? You know, so it's not really the same thing, you know. They're predicating on your mind based upon an ideology that you don't believe in. So if you don't believe in it or don't care, then it doesn't really affect you as much.
Is that one of the core tenets of chaos magic?
Yeah, it is.
How did I know you were going to know the answer to that question?
Because I'm a chaos theorist.
Well, but chaos magic is very different, right? Oh, fuck.
In a way it is, because it's okay. Well, I mean, this is like a really like deeper subject than, you know, this is like a longer conversation that we can sum up by just saying it's chaos magic and chaos theory is dissimilar in a sense that chaos magic has to do with you trying to kind of dismantle something or an object by using, you know, spiritual or non-spiritual weapons or ideologies. And chaos theory is just about, there's not really a specific set form or thing occurring. And so it's not so much not having a plan, it's not being tied down to one thing, thinking that it's going to be the resolution of everything. You know, having no set accordance, or there's not really a set thing that has to be done. Like there's a 1 through 10, but there's not really a way that there's not really a way that 1 through 10 is really going to be a determining factor on how the world exists.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. you kind of lost me there, but that's okay. That's more on me. That's not on you. That's on my, the game fucked me up and I lost the thread, but,
it's basically saying that, you know, there's, I'm just going to kind of like make it easier. The chaos magic is just disassembling by using the same tools that chaos theory uses for good.
Okay.
You know.
Do you ever listen to the last podcast on the left? They did a deep dive on chaos magic that was pretty interesting. I don't know if you know that podcast or not.
No, I don't know that podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. All right, dude. Anything else you want to dive into? By the way, man, I love talking to you. You are such a fascinating mind, and please continue to fucking call in.
I like talking to you, Zach, because there's a lot of like parallels, because you have a kind of different way of looking at things too. You know, it's not really like a simplest way where people are like, well, if you don't do that or you don't think that way, then you're an idiot, and that's just a dumb way of thinking. Because I also live in a punk rock world before I kind of like, you know, did a lot of stuff also. So, you know, I think the calmest thing in the world is like a mosh pit, and people go, why? And I'm like, dude, because
I listen to death metal to fall asleep at night. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I hear you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of almost somberness when you go into a mosh pit, because it's not so much the etiquette about it. It's like, since there's nothing, you can't control it. It's something that's it has its own entity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has its own way of life.
Yeah, you have to surrender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to. That's why I like it. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, buddy. Cool, man.
Talk to you later.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Keep hanging. Later, man. That guy's the best. I'm getting my fucking ass kicked. Dude, chaos magic, chaos theory. I want to know more about that shit, man. I gotta read more. How many books do you? I mean, it's hard to read these days. It's hard to find time to read. Especially because like I feel like in the last few years, it's just gotten so much easier for me to just like veg out, like more so than ever before. It's just like it's become a real challenge to just like feed the brain, you know. I don't know. Whatever. We're all doing it. We're all trying. You know what, Zach? Be nice to yourself. You're doing it. You're doing what you can. What else is going on? What's a fucking unpopular movie take I can have? Oh, here's one. Oh, I got a great one. Guys, I don't like the movie Chinatown. Tell me why it's good. And this is a movie that is like number 2 on the AFI list, I believe, like right behind Citizen Kane. Why is Chinatown good? I've watched it a few times. I want to like it. I cannot get into it, man. What is the great to do about Chinatown? And by the way, I love Polanski. Rosemary's Baby, masterpiece. What's up with Chinatown? Uncut Gems is a bad movie? Oh, Leaf Beaver. I'll fucking go to town with you on that. All right, let me pull somebody in I haven't talked. Nick the Newbie. I haven't talked to you before. Nick the Newbie. How are you?
I've never seen Chinatown. So
Okay, well, we don't have to talk about it. I just brought it up. I wouldn't expect everyone in the waiting room to have a take on Chinatown. That's okay.
All right, I got a hot take, but real quick, you mentioned hallucinogens earlier, and I just recently applied for a psilocybin study at Hopkins.
What state do you live in?
Maryland.
By the way, have you heard the John Hopkins psilocybin playlist on Spotify?
I've read one of the study papers before, but I didn't know there was a Spotify.
Yeah, they have a Spotify playlist of the music they play during their studies, and it's really good. It's a lot of classical, but it's good. It's worth checking out if you're into that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've never touched this stuff just because, like, I would like to be guided by a professional before messing around with that kind of thing.
That's fair.
So I'm like, let me see if I get accepted to a study first. But that's all pending. I don't have any information for you now.
But by the way, dude, let me just encourage you: if you don't get the study, I imagine it's limited space. Don't deny yourself the experience.
Oh. Baby steps here.
Baby steps, but just keep your brain open. That there are controlled ways you can do it without, a Johns Hopkins guy.
Oh, that's fair.
Just keep and read that book. Maybe you have. Have you read that book?
What's the book?
How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan.
Sorry, loud keyboard. How to Change Your Mind. I'll take a look. Okay. Hot take. You ready?
Hot take. Hit me.
I love spoilers. I think people should spoil themselves before seeing movies, TV shows, reading books. I frequently go into a movie or show or whatever, and by the end of it, I'm like, that was dumb. Why'd that go in that direction? But if I, before the movie, a Wikipedia article, just read the whole plot synopsis and then watch through it, I'm like, that was great. I love that. That's everything I expected and more.
Wow, that is a hot take, my friend. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Two thoughts spring to mind when I hear your hot take. The first is my reaction of just like complete disagreement, right? And I'm thinking like, so Psycho, you're saying Psycho would have been a better movie experience if you'd known, like, what about the intention of the artist? People go through these like laborious process to like surprise the viewer. Like, no, fuck it, doesn't matter. I mean, it drives me crazy. However, Then I find myself thinking, they did a study. Children love to watch shows multiple times, right? That's why Sesame Street will air the same episode twice in a row, because the child will actually enjoy the show more the second time. And I know I bet we can all identify with this. We would watch, as little kids, we would watch the same movie again and again and again, right? I don't know if that was the case for you, but it was for me, and it was for most people I talked to. Like, I watched Flight of the Navigator, which is not even a good movie, 30 times when I was a little kid. And I think there is something innate in the human mind that does crave safety in our entertainment. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the comfort of familiarity.
The comfort of familiarity, which is why people would rather sit down and watch Love Island than watch Raised by Wolves, because one is going to challenge you and one is just like getting into a comfortable warm bath and falling asleep, which would, by the way, kill you. So I think I understand your rationale. I just feel like, dude, you're not challenging yourself, man. Like, you got to fucking respect. Part of me is like, I feel like you're disrespecting the creators, but it's your fucking time and your brain and your money. So I guess whatever you want, but I do think you're not crazy.
I'll say it's not like a universal truth. Not like you automatically like everything better by spoiling it. Right. I think it's a matter of hedging your bets. It's like, you don't bet on individual stocks in the stock market. You just bet on the whole thing, and then over time it averages out. Just for example, oh god, how to put this? If I spoil myself on almost everything I watch, there are some highest highs that I will miss out on.
Yes, there are.
But I think the overall expected value of the experience of media consumption evens out. Okay, I don't know. Give her. Okay.
I think you're making a very interesting point. You're depriving yourself of of the thrill, but you're also saving yourself a bunch of garbage. So you're making a conscious exchange, and I understand it. I would never do it because I'd rather experience those thrills, but I get why you're making the point.
It also helps me analyze things without being caught up in the emotion of my initial reaction to it. You ever see Whiplash, the drummer?
I loved it. Oh God, what a tremendous movie! Love that movie.
I loved it too because I read Wikipedia beforehand.
No, that's not why you loved it. You loved it because it's a great movie and it worked. You just happened to let yourself see it because you read the Wikipedia article.
That moment at the end, towards the end, when he's talking to his dad, and then he's like, "Do I go with J. John Jameson or do I go with Mad About You guy?" And
Paul Reiser.
Right.
Wait, who did you say the first one? J. John Jameson?
J. John It's what the hell is that actor's name?
The guy who won the Academy Award for Whiplash?
Right, the bald guy.
Oh God, now I'm blanking on his name. But I'm just wondering who J. John Jameson is. That a Spider-Man character that he played? Is that what you're...
Yeah, the news editor in Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah. J.K. Simmons. Thank you, chat. J.K. Simmons.
Right. So, I'd read the critique about the movie, talking about how that moment is like him choosing between a life of comfort and family and love, or returning to an emotional abuser that was just used the kid as an object to fulfill his own fantasies of having a star student. And the kid chose the abuse. Now, had I not read that, I would have been like, oh, okay, so he just went and he won at the end. He showed the guy.
But no, okay. First of all, I don't even agree that that's the message of that movie. But okay, fair enough. But more to your argument is that you read that Wikipedia page, and so you derived the message of that movie before you even watched the movie. You deprived yourself of coming to that conclusion on your own, dude. You deprived yourself of a deeper analytical thinking that has to kind of plant itself in your subconscious lizard mind and then bloom later on the drive home when you're talking about it or thinking about it. You've just co-opted somebody else's interpretation and let that be your experience. That's just kind of a shame.
You're giving me more credit than I deserve on that one. I don't know if I could come to that conclusion.
Yes, you could. And it doesn't matter. It's the movie wasn't allowed to interact with you on your terms.
Well, it is a weird. It's weird that you mention that, because then there are movies that I watch and in the theater I'm like, oh, that was awful, but then later on, I come to appreciate it.
I agree. That's a wonderful experience to have. I have that all the time, where I'll hate a movie and then I'll like it after, 2 days later. I'll like it, or I'll love a movie and then I'll hate it 2 days. Like Inception, I had a great time in the theater watching Inception, and then 2 days later I was like, I fucking hate that movie. You know what I mean? So, and then that means I'm reckoning with it. I like it. But I love, by the way, dude, I love your hot take, and this, I don't mean to be shaming you. I think this is one of the better hot takes we've heard on this channel. So.
I've had this argument with a lot of different people, so
sure. Yeah.
One analogy I've heard is, you ever hear the Hitchcock bomb table thing?
I love it. Yes, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But I don't think it applies to what you're saying. So I'm gonna sum up the Hitchcock bomb table thing for. Yeah, and we've already kind of ruined it, but here's what Hitchcock says. He's like, to achieve true tension, he lists this example. He says, imagine you watch footage for 6 minutes of 3 men sitting at a table talking about sports, and then at the very end of the scene, after 6 minutes, suddenly there's a horrible explosion and they're all killed. You would be startled in that moment, but your experience of watching this scene would ultimately be 6 minutes of boredom followed by 2 seconds of shock. He's like, now let's say we have that same scene, but imagine that I told you there's a bomb under the table that is about to go off. Now, for 6 minutes, while you're watching these men discuss sports, you're going to be like experiencing heart palpitations. You're going to be like, fucking save yourselves. It's going to be fraught with tension. And that's how to build, tension in movies. So you're arguing that by reading the Wikipedia, you're somehow enhancing your experience of these movies, which I completely disagree with, because you have to trust that the writer is going to provide all the information you need at the time that you need it. You're basically saying, like, I don't think this writer's good enough to take me on an emotional ride, so I'm going to go ahead and hack this system and read the Wikipedia so I can give it to myself. And I don't agree with you.
So I don't know if it's like a weird like Dunning-Kruger or like a control freak or effect I have or something, but which, by the way, I think this works a lot better for people who have like anxiety or control issues.
Sounds like you do. And I don't mean that as a diss. It's just it's pretty evident. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You and my therapist both tell me the same thing. It's like I keep expecting the movie to go in a certain direction, and then when it doesn't go in that direction of like something that I think wraps up neatly, like, well, that was dumb. Why they didn't do that? But talking about being challenged intellectually, I will say that this works a lot better for movies where you don't expect to be challenged intellectually. Did you ever see Wonder Woman?
Regrettably.
So I read beforehand, I saw that the old British guy was the bad guy. So I'm like, okay. So then when the movie happened, I'm like, all right. So now I'm not taken aback by how fucking stupid that was, because I knew it was coming.
Now, Professor Marth Live is saying they did a study and they found that people who get movies spoiled beforehand end up enjoying the movies more than the people going in blind. If that's true, and I'm inclined to believe that is true. That's interesting to me.
I think it depends. It's the averages. You knock out the highest of highs, but also the lowest. You ever play Metal Gear Solid 4?
Say again?
Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 4?
One more time. I cannot understand that sentence for some reason.
Sorry, I am. Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 4?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not. Maybe.
Well, I guess the example, like overall, there was so much that pissed me off about this game, but there was this one moment in the game where you visit a past area, and here I'm not giving spoilers, right? And had that been spoiled for me, like that would have killed the experience for me. Like that was such a powerful emotional ride, not expecting that to happen, and then getting that reward after 10 years of investment, emotional investment in that series. So yeah, it's like taking your prosium in equilibrium. Sacrifice the highest for the lowest of lows.
Yeah. All right. Hot take, man. That's a good hot take, dude.
Glad you appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging. All right, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So long.
That was good. Ron Gina, you're not in here. All right, buddy. All right. These are good hot takes. I like it. What's the worst horror movie you've ever seen? Fuck. I mean, who can say? There's so many pieces of trash. I don't know. You just watched Cabin in the Woods and hated it? I didn't like Cabin in the Woods the first time I saw it, and then I watched it again recently, and I liked it. And so that actually goes to his point where I knew the spoiler going in, and I enjoyed it more. So you know what? Maybe fuck me. What an interesting line of thought. I actually love this conversation. And I want to know about that study that they did. Have you seen the movie I'm Thinking of Ending Things? No. Same director as Schenectady, Charlie Kaufman. Yes. Yeah, well, I love Charlie Kaufman, so that movie's on my list. I definitely want to watch it. It always pisses me off when people are mad about spoilers for things like The Avengers. Like, we don't know how fucking paint by numbers movie is going to go down. I don't know. I can't speak to The Avengers. Oh, wait. So, Bergley Sanders, I don't see you in the waiting room. I got somebody messaged me saying, like, pull Bergley Sanders in. Uncut Gems was horrible? No, you're wrong. Varsoon? All right, Varsoon. You say, I've got education in writing if you want to talk craft spoilers, etc. All right. I don't think that super matters, but okay. What's up, Varsoon? What's your take? You're in. Barsoon. You're in, baby. Barsoon. All right.
I have my push to talk.
There you go. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I forgot I was on push to talk.
All good.
Apologies.
Don't worry.
Yeah, how's it going?
Well, what do you think about this spoiler conversation?
Yeah, so whenever you know things about like craft, whenever it comes down to like knowing a thing, it still matters like the experience that the person's made. So if it's something that knowing it is going to help you enjoy the thing, you can still just watch the thing the first time and then come back and revisit it. And I think that's like revisiting media is a lot of fun because of that aspect. I don't know, like, so like, I think the argument instead is like, what's important is your first exposure to the thing, right? Because you can always revisit something, right?
Right. Okay.
So then it becomes like, okay, well, should my first exposure be, reading a Wikipedia article or spoiling myself on some aspect of this, like, whatever fiction or whatever thing it is, or should I just go in blind? And
right.
I think that ultimately comes down to the sensibility of the person, but I'd argue that at the end of the day, the whatever you're experiencing, be it like a book or a game or a movie, the craft of the thing is still really important.
Yes. So you're saying that. What are you saying? I'm not quite sure I've got your point here.
So basically, if what you're like if the movie has like an aspect of it, like you mentioned Wonder Woman earlier. So if that like twist that this character is like a villain isn't something that you would have enjoyed, like that's a fault of the film rather than than saying spoilers are good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So like ultimately it really like the core experience of just seeing the thing on your own, you're going to like something or dislike something, whatever you bring to it. And if the person who's making the thing is good enough, they're going to be able to like kind of lean you into the things that are, good or bad about it. Like, what your strengths and weaknesses are in writing.
Sure.
So if you're ostensibly a better writer, you're going to be able to cover those weaknesses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think that in a way, yeah, sure, if you spoil something, you're maybe covering a weakness of the thing by like knowing it beforehand. But a good enough like piece of media will just do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it'll like by building like foreshadowing or by like having some element of it that like leads you into it.
Yeah. Okay. I think I buy it. I don't feel like you're making a very controversial point, which is okay. You don't have to.
No.
But I'm like, yeah,
No.
okay. I'm following the thread here.
To get more controversial for it, I'd say that ultimately, because like a lot of people get bent out of shape about spoilers,
right?
They get real frustrated how you spoil the thing, and I think my argument would be that like the experience of a thing is more important than like knowing any aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so,
that's
like,
instance, in a weird way, I kind of take comfort from this because, like, just from my personal, selfish point of view, like, so I've been pretty open. I'm gearing up to be making this horror movie, and it has like a pretty big twist, right? And I don't know how anyone could ever cut a trailer for this movie. I'm already thinking like 2 years ahead, right? Which is like me getting ahead of myself because things fall apart all the time. But I'm thinking like, fuck, if the trailer is going to have to give the twist away to this movie. There's just no way that they could market this without kind of spoiling, what to me is like this precious plot twist. But I guess it's if it's well constructed, people will still be forgiving and still be able to enjoy it. Is that what you're saying, or am I just like missing the thread?
Yeah, no, that's entirely what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that if knowing the twist ruins the thing, then the thing's not good.
Interesting. Okay. However, let me just try and devil's advocate you. Sixth Sense, right? I didn't know the twist. The twist blew my fucking mind. Now, granted, I'd been enjoying that movie all the way up until the twist, so it's not like the twist made the movie. But I'm just thinking like, if I'd known the twist the first time I watched it, I feel like it would have impaired my enjoyment. I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I watched that movie knowing the twists. I still enjoyed it.
You did.
But, this comes into the kind of the territory of spoiling a thing or, repeat viewing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making a movie, which is something that somebody can like watch multiple times, then it behooves you to maybe make a movie that like is still enjoyable on a repeat view, right?
Yeah.
Or knowing everything.
Right.
And so whenever it comes to movies, it's like, yeah, sure, I know the twist, but like still watching that movie, I can still be engaged with like the performances, how they build to that moment. Like the blocking of scenes, all of that stuff still like works for me.
Yeah.
So
hang on one second. I'm gonna interrupt you for a moment. Sorry. Hey, the Tuganaut, come into the waiting room. I want to talk to you. Tuganaut, 100%. Get your ass in the waiting room, please. All right. Sorry. Keep going, buddy.
Talking about Sixth Sense.
Yeah. What? I gotta hear this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, go for it, man.
No. But thanks, dude. I appreciate the input there.
Yeah.
That's good.
I guess last thing before I bop off. It's been cool watching you play Isaac. If you're into this, I really suggest one that gets slept on a lot is this game Wizard of Legend, which is similar to Isaac. It's roguelike, procedurally generated, but you're like a wizard and you cast spells.
Ooh, all right, that sounds kind of cool. I'm into that.
It's also
I hate this run.
I think it's got some co-op too, though it's kind of messy. Similarly, like Risk of Rain has co-op, so you could get other people in on it.
That would be fucking awesome. So I want to be playing this with you, dude. So yes, that's good to know.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So wait,
I highly suggest
Risk of Rain, we can do that?
Yeah, Risk of Rain, I think you can go to 4 people normally, but if you go and like edit the files for the game, which is super easy, you just like change a text document to say allow 10 people.
Yeah.
You can get 10 people in a game.
Okay, cool. All right, cool, dude. I'll check it out. Thanks, buddy.
All right, take care, man.
Later, man. That was cool. All right, what's up with Tuganaut, man? Tuganaut, he said that Sixth Sense doesn't even follow its own rules. What does that mean? What does that mean? You're Fist and Bale. Thank you. Fist and Bale, there you are. Dude, what are you, how does the Sixth Sense not follow its own rules? I'm dying to know what you're talking about.
Hold on, sorry. I was not muted. Okay, well, and the main like stick of it would be that look at the way all the other ghosts that this kid sees are. They're all dressed in the clothes they died in. They all bear the wounds that they died with. And the only person that doesn't adhere to that is Bruce Willis. That's why it's such a shock, because he doesn't follow the rules of any other ghost in that movie.
Okay, you know what? I can't argue with you.
Yeah, it's silly. That's why
he was shot in the chest. He should have a bloody chest, right?
Yep. He constantly changes clothes where no other ghost does. Every other ghost in that movie dies with the same shit on. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
all the rest of the ghosts in that movie.
Here's my real time counter argument to you, and I have not thought this through.
Those.
Sixth Sense is not from the point of view of Haley Joel Osment. It is momentarily, but really we are in Bruce Willis's perspective. Yes. And Bruce Willis might see himself different than Haley Joel Osment sees him.
Okay, that's a fair assumption, but
and
like
Leaf
I feel
Beaver
like
just says I got cooked by you, but I think I just uncooked myself, Leaf Beaver. So
maybe that's a really wide swing for M. Night Shyamalan to expect people to follow, in my opinion.
Okay, I think,
you could see it from there.
I think you're right.
But yeah, I think if you really watch the movie though, like you could argue that, but I do think it's from the point of this kid more or less. It's just
no,
you know what I mean.
It's not. Story, it's from Bruce Willis's point of view.
But I feel like the story is really about this kid.
Well, it might be about the kid, but the perspective is solidly Bruce Willis.
All right, you're right, dog.
Oh, you're right. But dude, I love this hot take. Now, wait a minute. Were you the one talking shit on The Village?
No, but I mean,
I agree. I thought the twist in The Village was trash.
Yeah, I mean that movie. I don't even understand like what he was like attempting to do. I guess like it's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I feel like M. Night Shyamalan makes really good half a movie. Like in the last bit, he's always just like, and what's a crazy twist that could happen?
I have so many issues with him. I'm obsessed with him, and I've always been obsessed with him. And I don't like 90% of his movies.
Yeah, but they're interesting.
And I'll
see
watch
what
them
he'll
all
do.
multiple times. Like, dude, I don't know how many times I've seen Lady in the Water, and I think it's one of the worst movies ever made. And I've watched it so many times because it's just compelling. Like, he writes himself into the movie as a writer that will one day write, like he's Bill and Ted. Like, one day he's gonna write something that's so incredible it'll change mankind. It's like, dude, you cast yourself as that? You're out of your fucking brain. I shouldn't have picked up that hard thing. He's amazing, dude. Now, did you see The Visit?
Oh, I haven't seen The Visit, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. I hope that I name drop this guy all the time, but I talk to him all the time about horror movies, and I respect him. But, like, Jordan Peele and I are friends, and blah, blah, blah. And whatever.
Dear friend?
He loves The Visit. He thought it was great, and I can't go there. And I want people to argue why The Visit is a good movie. I will grant you that the scene under the house, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to chat right now. I know you haven't seen it. The scene under the house was scary. It did scare me. So fair enough. So wait, what other M. Night movies made an impact on you? I love talking about M. Night.
Well, I don't know. I really don't like Signs, I guess. I don't know.
I agree. I think it's pretty trash.
Yeah. Like
that was the first one where I was like, this guy doesn't have it anymore, man.
Yeah, the only movie that I really, I guess, sort of ended up enjoying that I didn't think I would after the fact would be The Happening. Because when I first initially watched that movie, I was like, this makes no goddamn sense. Like, I don't want to watch like 2 hours of people running from a gentle breeze.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that.
No.
But I don't know. After a sort of like, I think I watched most of it again, not the whole thing, and just sort of thinking about it, I was like, maybe it is kind of a better. Well, I guess not a better
Happening?
story
No,
than
it's
I thought
terrible,
it was
dude. No,
initially.
you were right the first time. It's horrible, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bad movie, but in the same way, that sometimes it's just nice to flex your thoughts around something you think you hate, just to make sure you hate it.
And again, I've watched The Happening 4 times, and I'll probably watch it again in my life because it's just so special. That's what makes him so unique. Is that like no one does what he does. And honestly, I kind of feel like he has just, and it's his superpower and it's his Achilles heel. It's like, I don't think he censors himself ever.
Yeah,
I think that he falls in love with the first draft and he just like, I'm sure he does rewrites, but I don't think he does very much. I think he's just got his like childhood sense of like, what if this happened? And that just powers all of his scripts. And dude, he's far more successful than me. So like, fuck me for criticism. Yeah. So that's, he's clearly figured something out that I haven't, but like, I
think that's part of the attraction though, is that on initial viewing, especially, that's when his movies are the best because of that factor. You can go, oh man, you let your mind just kind of wander into that childhood place and go, yeah, what if aliens fucking attacked? But by the end of it, you're like, oh, you just threw water on them.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the worst twist ever. It's water. Oh, it's water? You mean that thing that makes up like 90% of our fucking planet?
Yeah. It falls from the sky randomly.
That thing that's just like in the atmosphere everywhere. Like, why would they come? That was just the worst.
Yeah, what if they landed in Florida on a humid day? Like, would they die?
Exactly. He's like, swing away. Swing away. It was just like, God, you went through fucking somersaults to land this fucking climax.
Yeah, giving him this crazy emotional backstory.
It was
like,
ridiculous.
Fucking ties.
But I love it. I love it because it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's fun watching him write himself out of the sort of problems he makes for himself, I guess. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a funny. Yeah, he does. He writes himself out of these. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, he writes himself out of these problems in such funny ways. I don't know why that sentence made me think of this, but like, have you ever heard? There's J.R. Tolkien talks about. I fucked myself there. He talks about writing Lord of the Rings, and he said that he got so stuck at the end where Frodo is like gonna drop the ring into the lava of Mount Doom, but he's completely like at that's the moment that the ring takes him over. You know what I mean? And he succumbs to the power of the ring and he turns. And J.R. Tolkien was like, he's like, I couldn't figure it out for months. Like, I did not know how to write myself out of this moment, and I just love it. Like, it was at the end of like the greatest 1,000-page fantasy epic ever written, right? And wait a minute, I don't want this, right? No. I don't know. It's just so funny how jackpot. Even that, but he found, he stuck with it and he didn't have a cop out. And like, you read it when Gollum, bites his finger off, it's like, it could never have been any other way. It's so perfect, right?
What, he just like toiled and toiled over and then it just hit him eventually.
It just goes to show, like, hitting a wall and powering through, it can work out in the best possible. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about right now. I know that the Coen brothers.
That's fine. You're playing.
I'm playing a game. The Coen brothers say, when they're writing, they don't want to know what happens. And I think that's such a beautiful way to write. It's like, they don't know how the movie's going to end. Stephen King, who I have a lot of problems with, obviously, if you've ever listened to me talk, I have a love-hate relationship. But he compares the writing process to like unearthing dinosaur bones. You scrape along in the dirt and like, the skeleton emerges as it wants to emerge. You don't know. And I just, that's so kind of beautiful and awesome. And I just feel like M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong is just like, I don't think that's his philosophy. I think he thinks of the twist first and then ties himself in a pretzel to earn the twist. And I think he's the worst for it.
Absolutely. Because that is the only way to write a really good movie, is to let the movie write itself. You create the little world, and then what is it telling you?
Yeah.
And then I feel like, do you think he just was like, got famous off of a twist and then went, hey, I should just keep doing that? Or do you think that that's really just genuinely what he thinks is good writing, though?
I think it might be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I mean, who knows, really?
Probably. Probably. Yeah, it's all speculation.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I think he would like to be remembered the way Hitchcock is remembered. And, Hitchcock certainly had a ton of twists, but his movies weren't about the twist. South Park really kind of nailed M. Night. I can't remember, but they were like, no, that's not a movie. It's just a twist. No, it's true. It's like a twist is not a movie.
Exactly. That isn't a plot. Like,
it's not a story.
Hitchcock, really just revolutionized the like visual storytelling, in my opinion. So it's like nowhere near that at all. Like before him, people were doing just straightforward shit, I feel like, and not all broadly across the board, but it's definitely in mainstream. So yeah, boy, he wishes he was that great.
Yeah,
but no, it is fascinating. I liked it.
Dude, this was a good combo, man.
I agree. I appreciate you letting me have a chance to talk to you, dude.
I appreciate it. Later, fisting bail.
Yep.
I'm starting to hit my wall with this game. I like Isaac, but I don't feel the juice from Isaac that I feel from Dark Souls. You know what I mean, guys? I really don't. What else is going on? Did you see Paris, Texas, the Wim Wenders movie? Yes, I did. I liked it. I should watch it again. I haven't seen it in a long time. Hot take: Hereditary isn't a good movie. The second the film starts ramping up, the supernatural factor in the second half of the film gets so much worse. Oh boy. Okay. Coley 11, come step into my office. The fuck are you talking about, dude? Give me a fucking break. Zach, watch some game trailers and let Steam vote on what you should play. That's a great idea. I'll do that. Tomorrow I'll do that. Has anyone watched Six String Samurai? I have not. You ever play Shovel Knight? I feel like I did play Shovel Knight. Wait, who was I just yelling at about Hereditary? Hot take, Hereditary. Coley. Oh my god, you're bad at this game. Someone's name is, oh my god, you're bad at this game. Well, fuck you. Beef members. What's up, beef members? Let's talk to you for a bit. I'm going to hop off here in about 15 minutes, guys. Beef members, dígame. Oh, Coley, get in the waiting room. Don't do this on chat. I want to be able to eviscerate you, dude. What's up, beef members? You're muted. You might have like the key speak something.
Hey,
what's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm just working from home. So
sick, tight. tight. What do you do?
I'm in grad school.
Okay, all right. Hitting them books. All right. What's your major? What are we learning?
Generally, I do physics.
Okay. All right. What's your hot take? What are you doing here? What do we got?
My hot take was a while ago, so
Oh no.
I think you've already covered it.
Oh no.
But,
Okay. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. What was it? Just out of curiosity.
I agreed with the comment about the Sixth Sense.
That it didn't follow its own rules.
Don't really, yeah.
Yeah, I agree too.
And saying it's from someone's perspective, and so he doesn't have to like follow that rule.
You don't buy it?
I still like the movie, but I didn't love it.
Fair enough. All right, dude. All right. Well, another time you'll have a hot take and we'll get fucking heated at each other. It'll be awesome. Cool?
Perfect.
All right, beef members. Later, bud. Is that guy in here? Sup, Zach? I want to make these streams, but I usually work, but I want to say what's up. What's up, Harry D69? Beef members is the homie. I love beef members. I'm down with beef members. He's fucking good. Beef members has been an OG. He's been in here the whole time. I know that. You can't join the Discord. You might have to go and agree to the rules of the Discord. I don't quite know what the deal is, but hot take: magic mushrooms suck. Okay, stupid kid. Stupid kid. What are you talking about? Oh shit. Magic mushrooms suck? What is this? Stupid kid. I agree with your name. Can you hear me? I guess not. It's a damn shame. Stupid kid. All right. I'm gonna boot you, bro. You had your shot. You had your shot and you blew it. What movie is that from? You had your chance and you blew it. I'll give you a clue. Robert De Niro says it. Who knows? Oh, I love this movie too. It's a good one. Yeah, Auto JCG. It's Copland, baby. So fucking funny. Robert De Niro. That's a good movie. That's one of Stallone's better movies of that decade, in my opinion. No, Billy Madison is you blew it. Very different than you had your shot and you blew it. It's very different, guys. Come on, you gotta catch up. This guy's a bitch. Ooh, I forgot he does the horizontal thing. I should probably be using my bandage to fuck him up. Look at that. Look at that. Slices through him like fucking butter. Ooh. Look at that. Fucking murder. I fucking murdered him. Oh my god, you're bad at this game? Oh my god, you're bad at this game. What? How dare you?
Yeah, I know, right?
How dare you? What's up, dude?
Just wanted to say, what the hell's the deal with all these people agreeing with you, first of all?
I know, right?
That's not what we're doing, I thought.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point.
So, first of all, I want to say, movies suck in general.
Hot take?
On a whole,
I've
you
been
should
on
probably
selfie
just...
the whole time. I'm playing the games, and I've been on selfie this whole time. You guys got to tell me that shit. Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
No, that's bad. I mean, movies just aren't like an optimal experience. I think if you're really doing things correct, you can nail most of your plot in 30 minutes. I think a lot of movies are drawn out. I get if you're doing slow pacing, fine. You know, that's cool. You're doing slow pacing, but a movie doesn't have to even be 2.5 hours. Like a miniseries is a way better way to approach things like that.
Your argument is ridiculous, dude. You're saying a movie, 90 minutes is too long. Give me a miniseries, which is, by the way, like 6 hours at minimum.
Yeah, dog.
So you're contradicting yourself.
I'm not saying like no. I'm saying like Over the Garden Wall, for example. Like that's a 90-minute series, 10 episodes.
I don't know what that is.
It's just an animated thing. It doesn't matter. Point is, like movies overall just take way too long. I think every single movie that you've talked about today can be summarized and cut down to about 15 minutes of total screen time.
This is a hot take, buddy. First of all, gold.
Yeah, I know.
Gold star.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to argue
gold
with you.
star for a hot take. So I appreciate
Thank you.
It's just a ridiculous premise here.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay, so you are aware. So do you even believe this, or are you just trying to rile me
I
up?
absolutely believe this. I have always had ADHD, and movies
I do too,
have just
by
always.
the way.
Yeah.
I do
No,
too.
I'm just saying, like, if I go to the movies, I don't want to be sitting there like 40 minutes in, like, oh man, it's still not over, which happens almost
I
every
agree,
time.
but when that happens to me, I get up and I walk out.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
Look, some movies are
happens
bad.
with every movie.
Most art is bad, but
exactly.
But that's not the fault of the time duration. That's just it's a bad movie. I mean, I would argue that you take a bad 90-minute movie, you cut it down to 15 minutes. It's very rare it's going to suddenly be a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then so that's fine. Like, but there's better ways to convey all of those things. Then, like, you can play a 30-minute video game, and you'll be a lot more immersed. You won't want to walk away from a 30-minute video game. But a 30-minute movie, I don't know,
It's a different
even that
medium
much.
altogether. It's apples and oranges.
No, I think because it's a different medium, one could be inherently better. Is all I'm saying.
This is a hot take. All right, when I have, I have to hop off. But when I have, I wish that you'd called in a little earlier because I would love to really fucking go in on you on this. But I patently disagree. I think you work for Quibi.
I understand.
I think you're a Quibi employee, and this is what they've resorted to get the word out about their fucking company. And
I really don't know what Quibi is.
All right, well, good for you.
Well, I'll Google it later.
Right. Don't worry about it. All right, buddy.
Okay,
this is a
thanks.
good one. You get a fucking gold star. I love it.
Hell yeah. I'll talk to you later.
All right,
then.
buddy. Later.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah,
Peace.
you too. All right, that ruled. I like that. All right, dudes. I have to hop off. My phone's blowing up. I have shit going on. That's a Trevor lie. What's news, boys? I don't know what that means. You guys are the best. Thanks for everyone who donated and followed. Let me do my thank yous. I'm so sorry I've not been thanking people. That's not cool. I should have been really a lot better about this. Because it fucking matters, and I appreciate you guys. Auto JCG, thank you. Hot Dog Water Burps, you're always fucking coming correct. Thanks for gifting. I love that. Cat Hunting 2020. Fuck yeah, dude. Major Opsum? Ziltoid the Great. Ziltoid? I get it. I get the reference. I really do. Skeleton Goon, thanks, buddy. And then I'm in the past. All right. Pop Like It's Hot, thanks, buddy. You're gifting to the chair. Okay, well, shit. All right, I'll take what I can get, I guess. Or Chairwell. Zeppelin, thanks for the resub. Landy One Handy, thanks, man. Fleshy Fun Box, Sub Doll Liquors, thank you. Bloom Online. Mira Luna, Comrade Khan, thanks everybody. Stuck on Nails. Okay, you guys are fucking bringing it. I so appreciate it. I had a lot of fun today. I like getting disagreed with. You guys are fucking awesome. I'll stream tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go back to Dark Souls tomorrow. I'm just letting you know. I'll do a vote in the beginning. We'll figure it out. But do you guys want to raid anybody? Anyone you want to raid right now? I'll take the first good raid suggestion I see. I'm gonna just fucking attack it because I have to pee. Do a different Dark Souls? Yeah, I could. I could probably download tonight Dark Souls 2. Ron Funches. Watch Hubie Halloween. I watched Hubie Halloween. We can fart about it. We can fart about it tomorrow. Steven Larson. Okay. Steven Larson. Is that cool? Do you guys like that? Let's get this raid going. Steve and Larson. They have 124 people. Are they funny? These guys good? Raid Trump. Nope. All right, let's just do this and be nice. Don't go in there yelling, "Go fuck yourselves." I don't. That's no good for us. That was a hot take. All right, thanks, you guys. You guys raid Biden's Animal Crossing. Oh, I wouldn't do that to you. All right, everybody. Thanks for everyone who's hanging. This was a good one. Let's get into it again tomorrow. Let's fucking fight. Don't hate yourself, stupid kid. Why? Why? We'll get into it tomorrow. You had technical issues. It's not your fault. Ready? Raid.